Because see, I know something that a lot of people don't know. I know that you and Kim Porter had a sit down right before she.
Cincy, I know something that many individuals don't realize. I realize that you and Kim Watchman had a plump down just before she left us. Let them know, tell them, if it's not too much trouble. Tell them, and I realize Kim had an excellent counsel to give you. I didn't know Cassie, yet I knew someone who was going through exactly the same thing she was going through. And that was Kim Dorman. Some of you all owe Panther Wright an expression of remorse, since she's been standing up on Diddy's shrewd ways for a really long time. And you were calling her insane. At any rate, Puma is back, and she has more tea to spill on Diddy's supposed contribution in the passing of his ex, Kim Watchman. In another meeting with Storm Monroe, Puma guaranteed that Kim had a one-on-one discussion with Cassie presently before she kicked the bucket, and anything that she told her, it gave Cassie the boldness to get away from Diddy's place of revulsions. And look, the timetable certainly looks at on the grounds that Cassie left Diddy in October 2018. And afterward, Kim kicked the bucket only weeks after the fact. Currently, certain individuals are saying that Cassie could know something about how Kim kicked the bucket, and that Diddy quieted her with this settlement. Yet see, since Diddy settled the claim with Cassie, doesn't mean he can't be criminally arraigned, particularly since Cassie's claim referenced felonies, including dealing currently. Might this at some point start things off and prompt Kim Dorman's case being returned? And what precisely does Puma Wright have some familiarity with Kim and Cassie's last discussion? We should stall down. Kim was brilliant, wasn't she? Cassie protected you alive and kept you. I will advocate for you. I want this, honey. You all. Diddy probably neglected to cover his Illuminati bill this month, since they are coming for himself, as well as there's no way other than straight ahead, now sibling love. So you've all heard that Diddy settled his claim with Cassie in no less than 24 hours after she sued him for DVS and traf. Yet see, this doesn't mean Diddy is free. And as per legitimate specialists, Diddy may as yet get criminal accusations, assuming that the state chooses to arraign him. This is a common case. It was settled. Could died he actually face a few crook accusations. I mean, the claims were honestly very difficult. Totally. It's 100% conceivable. Common settlement doesn't in any capacity, make him immune from criminal risk. What a common settlement would sort of assist you with realizing Diddy would be that Cassie or Miss Ventura can't deliberately proceed to do things now that doesn't keep her from coming clean, that she's constrained by regulation. Yet I don't think it. In the event that there is criminal responsibility, not too far off, this truly doesn't help him that much. What it does is it keeps him from saying something under the force of a testimony, right? It keeps him from doing that. He would need to, he doesn't need to go through the activity, like I take the fifth, since that simply doesn't help anybody in the common setting. So it sort of settled things, put things, yet I couldn't say whether it put things to sleep. So it seems as though we'll need to sit back and watch on the off chance that the DA will currently record criminal allegations against Diddy. Yet meanwhile, you all definitely realize the web isn't allowing Diddy to inhale with this large number of charges, and individuals are currently returning again to long-standing tales about Diddy being engaged with the demise of his ex and mom to 3 of his children. Kim report Kim died unexpectedly at age 47 on November 15, 2018. And they said the reason for death was regular, evidently coming about because of entanglements from pneumonia. Diddy's ex, Kim Dorman, is found dead at 47 years. Can affirm that the model and entertainer who dated Sean Diddy Combs for a long time was found dead at her home in Los Angeles. Crisis dispatch was purportedly called a Watchman's home to treat a patient in heart failure, albeit a reason for death presently can't seem to be resolved. Kim had allegedly been experiencing pneumonia for a considerable length of time. In a proclamation, Diddy's rep says, tragically, I can affirm the death of Kim Dorman. I ask that you give the fam security. As of now, on November 16th, a dissection was finished, and the coroner presumed that Kim passed from lobar pneumonia, which is irritation which influences a whole curve of the lungs about 7 days preceding her passing. Kim allegedly began feeling a scratchy throat. And by November 12th, she had fostered a fever. The coroner's report said that she tried pessimistic for this season's virus and strep, and got antimicrobials, nutrients, and torment prescriptions that endured 7 days. Yet here's the turn: Kim truly got better before she passed. And as per individuals who last saw her by November 14th, her temperature had returned to typical. She even had a profound back rub and chilled with her family watching films the prior night. She was found lethargic in her bed on the morning of November 15th. Kim's goddaughter tracked down her in bed around 8:30, yet she thought Kim was resting. It was only after practically no soon that the family acknowledged something was off base and called 911. Unfortunately, it was at that point past the point of no return, and every one of the paramedics could do was articulated her dead. Now, the first coroner's report likewise expressed that Kim had no known history of medication use or liquor abuse, and no indications of injury except for Jaguar Wright, guaranteed back in December that there was one more report that was subsequently scored from the record, which showed hints of some sort of toxic substance in Kim's body. Kim passed on from pneumonia, yet here's the main coroner's report that said that she passed on. It was controlled a crime, and they tracked down poisons in her body to demonstrate that she had been harmed. You know, they have harms that make coronary episode and pneumonia like side effects. And afterward, I'll be sure Kim's ex and father of their child, Quincy, likewise began standing up and move. In July 2020, he posted a legacy video of himself with the message, "I just found this recording from the morning I learned of Kim Dorman's homicide, and the way that it tore the spirit from my actual body. I know plainly that Kimberly didn't look head out of nowhere over pneumonia." I'll be certain additionally added the hashtag "Don't allow the adoration tunes to trick you," apparently referring to Diddy's over the tube recognitions for Kim maker Simple Moy, who recently worked with Diddy, remarked on Al's post and said, "God favor your spirit, ALB. The infinitely wise, omnipresent, strong God workings finished in obscurity will become exposed." And afterward Al answered, "We kind sir, and we'll traverse this too on the off chance that not we know who and why." And afterward, in November 2021, on the 3D commemoration of Kim's passing, Ali hosted a legacy photograph with Kim, Quincy, and Quincy's sweetheart. And he wrote in the subtitle, "She sent me the colloquialism life, mimicking workmanship, craftsmanship mirrors life. Now everything checks out. She told me other stuff too. She was running," I said, "call the FBI, LB." Likewise included the remarks, "You could never accept what she went through now." Here's where it gets significantly seriously upsetting. Only a month after he shared this post, ALB abruptly fostered various organ disappointment and burned through 2 months in a state of extreme lethargy he scarcely got through. And he later said his primary care physicians were totally confounded concerning how he entirely misunderstood such countless things with him simultaneously. Yet, as Puma Wright additionally recently called attention to, it's not Kim Watchman and Albie Shore. There's truly a considerable rundown of individuals who fell wiped out or kicked the bucket under dubious conditions after they attempted to enlighten the world regarding Diddy. Andrew was composing a book just before he kicked the bucket. Wadey D was chipping away at a book before he passed on. Kim Dorman was dealing with a book before she kicked the bucket, and Albie sure was chipping away at the narrative of his life. And afterward, he goes into a state of extreme lethargy. Now, on the off chance that you read Cassie's claim in full, you presumably thought about how she survived the ordeal and break Diddy. Well, as per Panther, Kim Dorman could have quite recently saved Cassie's life. After Diddy settled his claim with Cassie, Kuma showed up on Storm Monroe's station and proposed that Kim educated Cassie something regarding Diddy before she passed on. "I will advocate for you, since I know something that many individuals don't realize. I realize that you and Kim Watchman had a plump down just before she left us." And I realize Kim had an awesome guidance to give you. And I accept that for this reason things are going on, as they happening now. Kim was savvy, wasn't she? Cassie guarded you alive, and kept you. I will advocate for you. I want this honeycomb, yet you are a casualty. And I realize that congrats on getting by and congrats on standing up. Obviously, individuals are currently guessing what might Kim at some point let Cassie know that Cassie would then use as influence to get away from Diddy. Well, remember that Kim was with Diddy on and off for very nearly 15 years. And she was close by when he was going through that entire East Coast, West Coast circumstance with Tupac and Big Deal. Now, I realize Kim had a ton of soil on Diddy, and she probably saw him do a wide range of vile things. So perhaps, quite possibly, she imparted a portion of this data to Cassie, who then, at that point, left Diddy under the danger of uncovering his wrongdoings from the 90s. It's a hypothesis, yet it would make sense of a ton and afterward in the event that Diddy